Hello, everyone, and welcome to edition number 2 of our Love Yourself project for the Love of Books book club. This month for October, we are featuring author Kaylie Kay and her book, Life Diverted. Welcome, Kaylie.
Hi, Celine. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're very excited to have your book on board. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started writing?
Yeah, I was a flight attendant cabin crew for my whole working life since I was 20, so 24 years. And when COVID hit the industry, aviation just nosedived and most of us found ourselves out of a job. I was made redundant. I've been writing as a hobby really for about 3 years before that, always based on cabin crew. And this book, Life Diverted, I really needed to tell the story of how so many of my colleagues had their entire lives diverted. Some of them will go back to flying, and some have just found whole different careers that they never dreamt that they would have. Sometimes, life throws us a curveball and we have to go with it. And I just really wanted to follow that story and how it affected the industry.
Well, that's wonderful. Okay. So have you always wanted to write? Is that kind of what brought you around?
Not at all. It was just an idea in Crew Rest once that I met so many characters that could have so many interesting stories and it would make a really good book series. So I started on my first book series that was just a bit of a hobby and wrote my friends in and things. But yeah, 5 books later, and I still struggle to call myself an author, but I guess that's what I am now. Yeah, now it's just something that I have to do. So, yeah.
So are you self-publishing the books or do you have a publisher? Okay.
No, I am self-publishing, yeah.
And is that something you found difficult or easy?
No, I think I went for that because it was easier than trying to get an agent and a publisher from everywhere that I looked into at the time. I don't think I could have faced 200 rejections before I found the one person to take me. And I didn't have a lot of confidence in my writing ability with the first books, and I don't think any author does. So I was happy just to put them out, and if people wanted to read them, they could. But now by book 5, I've got quite a good following, so I'm happy to just do it myself because I have my own platform.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. And is that on your website that the books are available or on Amazon?
The links are there so that you can buy them from Amazon and Amazon Kindle. Occasionally I'll branch out a bit further, but Amazon offer you a better deal if you stick with them. And since 70% of books are sold through Amazon, it's just the easiest way for me to do it.
Okay. And as I was going through your social media profile, I noticed something called the Crew Market.
Yeah.
What is your affiliation with them?
So basically during the pandemic, when everyone was really trying to find out what they could do if they weren't cabin crew, because for a lot of us, it's a vocation, it's just who we were. A lot of people set up their own businesses. There were people making candles, doing paintings. There was, everyone just suddenly became creative and this wonderful group called Not Just Crew and the Crew Market, they're very much joined, started online market where they would showcase all these products and support crew to sell them and provide them with a platform that someone can go and just look at everything that crew can do, and support the crew community that were trying to find their way.
Oh, wonderful. And I remember reading that that's also where you sell your signed copies of your book, right?
Yeah, and I did print off some special edition covers just so that I could give them to sell. So I'm supporting them as well as myself.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay, so if I wanted a special cover, that's where I will head over to. Okay. Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit, I guess, a summary, if you will, of Life Diverted and why our readers should want to read it?
Okay, I don't think that anyone wasn't affected during 2020. And although my book, it follows Carmen and her 2 cabin crew friends, but I think most people will relate, even if it's not them, but someone close to them that were faced with suddenly having to navigate a new route for themselves. So this follows Carmen, who as a protagonist should, has a bit of baggage and her own problems, but she kind of wasn't addressing them because she didn't need to, but now faced with having to move forward, she needs to go back to her past. And everyone has a different outcome. Everyone was affected very differently. So I think it's a book that even if you're not in aviation, that you'll relate to. for me, most of my following are in aviation, and I felt like if they picked up the book in 10 years' time and read it, they would suddenly remember those empty airports, the empty planes, and all those things, because the world is going to move on very quickly. And we will forget all those things. And I do think it's a book that if you read back the supermarket queues, you know, I don't know, but in England, we had no toilet roll on the shelves. You know, everyone in England went mad buying all the toilet roll and pasta. I've tried to put all those little things in there as well. And I hope that people will just remember that, yeah, and everyone has a happy ending as well and a nice outcome, because sometimes you just need a little bit of a push to try a different direction, and it might be a great thing for some people.
Yeah. So I think that overall the book is a great, I'm going to call it the legacy during the pandemic, because it has been a totally crazy time.
Yeah.
All right. So when I was checking out your website, I also noticed that you have a couple of short stories.
Yes.
Which are amazing.
Oh, did you read them? That's
yes. Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about how those came about?
Sometimes so when I commit to writing a novel, it can become, it always starts off nice and relaxed and becomes quite stressful, because I really need to stay in that story and find that quiet time. And I don't always have that as a mother and a wife and working. But a short story will just take me a few days, and then I've released something and I get the buzz that I get of releasing a novel, but it didn't take me so long. So for me, I put them out for free. Anyone can come to the website and read them. It drives traffic to the website. It might get some interest for my other books, but it also fulfills my need to write when I haven't got time for a whole novel. So.
Fabulous. So I guess you don't have a lot of spare time, but in your spare time, what else do you do?
So yeah, spare time. I don't know. I like to go running with my dogs. I live near the water in Southampton in England. So that's my meditation isn't to sit quietly in a room. It's to put some headphones on, play some music I like, and run and walk along the shore with my dogs. And that just clears my mind. That's my favorite thing to do. And then writing, yeah, or reading, because you can't be a writer if you don't read. So I try to find time to read as well.
That's very true. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time today. And we look forward to your live event where we will be discussing Life Diverted on October the 26th.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.